Welcome to this video, Launching New Music, Lesson 13, Album versus EP versus Single Launches. Now that you've seen how a full launch plan comes together, you might be curious as to how you launch different releases. Is an album launch different than a launch for a single or an EP? Yes, but there are also a lot of similarities too. So here's some differences between albums, EPs, and single launches. Just so you know, all music should have a launch plan. Don't just release something on the internet and say it's released. It's not. That's not how you launch something. The difference between the three is the buying process. So some of these might be worth actually trying to promote for sale. Some of them might be better used for just promotion. A lot of the time, singles are not meant to be bought these days. That's why people release them on streaming, right? So the idea here with singles is probably to just launch on streaming platforms to help boost visibility, gain attention for upcoming albums or EPs, and to keep streaming algorithms working for you. EPs can be made into physical copies and sold, but it might be best to partner with an indie record label if you do this. EPs used to be considered hard to get a hold of, small pressings, and somewhat of collector's items. However, now EPs are more considered to be placeholders to keep momentum between albums or if a band is trying to attract record label attention. However, albums are different. They are your crown jewel. It's like when an author writes a book versus them writing an essay or writing an article for the New York Times or something like that. A book or an album or anything that's a large piece of media is your crown jewel. They should be set up to make money. EPs and singles should be launched to promote your music career or your band and keep visibility and fan activity up. Here's a key point. You never get a second shot at releasing your album. So if it doesn't go as well as you planned, or you launched it too early and you didn't get any sales from it, well, guess what? You probably should have waited a little bit longer and you shouldn't have actually jumped the gun. So here's my advice for each type of release. So for a single, you want to get pre-saves. You want to send an email sequence, maybe not as much as a full album, but maybe 7 to 10 emails. Get a music video made with it. Get these singles onto playlists for both streaming platforms and YouTube video playlists, especially obviously if you have a music video. But on YouTube, you can even just have the cover art playing with the song. You also want to post on social media about them for weeks before and after the release. So don't just like release it and then mention it later like, oh, by the way, we released this a week ago. Go check it out. Now, you want to make sure that for like 2, 3, 4 weeks ahead of time, you're telling people about the single you're about to release. And even after it comes out, spend 2, 3, 4 weeks talking about it as well. Drive traffic to your link tree or music link to have people stream on their preferred platform. So this is kind of the attention part that you're going to drive that call to action to is, hey, go check out our link tree or link in bio, whatever. And that way they can go pick the song from whatever, Spotify or Apple or whatever, so they can play it on their own platform. With EPs, you kind of have a decision to make. You have to either decide to go ahead and release it or just put it out with a small indie label and try to run it with like a 7-inch or something. If you do this, you pretty much do a full album release for it. So if you are working with a small indie label, you get a 7-inch out, try to do a full album release for it. If not, do it like a single launch, except you should also do a single launch for at least one of the songs on the EP. And you maybe even do 2 or 3, depending on how many songs are on that EP. If you have like 5 songs on the EP, you might do 2, might even do 3 songs as a launch just to help promote the EP. But again, if you're just doing it on streaming, you're just trying to promote the overall EP on streaming, right? For albums, it's pretty clear. Do everything you possibly can to sell some sort of copies of this, right? So physical or digital or a mixture of both. You release singles to promote it. Add all the extra cool stuff that is not offered anywhere else during pre-orders to help incentivize early bird purchases. So get those tier pricings, get all that stuff. Make sure that people are buying it well ahead before it actually launches to the public. And again, don't rush an album launch just because you are excited to release the music. It can actually kill the ability for you to make money off of that album. So let's take some action. Make sure to plan each of your releases according to what their purpose or end goal is. Don't jump the gun on anything. Waiting a few weeks or even a couple more months might be the best thing for your launch.